So welcome everyone. I was just telling you I led a retreat in Linville. It's this property out in the country. And it's a small town called Linville, but it's out in the country and it has like some chickens. They just got a dog. But it's a beautiful property where they have some hammocks in the trees. They've got a meditation hut. They have swings hanging from the trees, you know, country style. They have a path going alongside the creek. We do yoga up on the hilltop. And I teamed up with the lady who lives there part-time, who is over wildflowers and fresh food. So if you love to cook, or if you don't like to cook, that's me, she actually makes it fun. And she makes it a very sensory experience. And she's very yogic in how she does it. I mean, even when you're eating a strawberry, she's like, look, you're doing yoga, you know. Anyway, she's really cool, but she does cooking classes. And she asked me to start doing these yoga retreats. So I'm just doing one for the better seasons, one in the spring, one in the summer, one in the fall. And the one for the summer was just over the weekend, and it was for the full moon. She provided a picnic lunch, we made little mocktails. It was so good. But anyway, that particular retreat is inspiring a little bit of what we're doing today, because it was the full moon on Saturday. And the full moon energy is usually 3 days before, during, and 3 days after, where you feel kind of the potency of it. So we're still in the tailwinds of it. So I thought it would be good to do a moon salutation today. Because we're in the tailwinds of it though, we are going to add in some vinyasas. Usually in a moon sal, the vinyasas aren't really a part of the equation. The vinyasas come in, and when I say vinyasa, it's a general term that I use for plank chaturanga, up dog, down dog. So we're actually going to start with a warm up, doing a modified vinyasa. We'll move to the sun sal, moon sal, and then halfway through the moon sal, we'll actually do a couple vinyasas, just to give you a little bit of more of that spice and heat to the practice, because the moon sal is a little bit more cooling. And I have one question for you. So on that retreat, I did a long guided field of flowers meditation, because we were out in the fields, and it was called You Belong Among the Wildflowers. I actually have that script with me that I had written out before. If you would like a guided meditation, we could do that for Shavasana. But when I was getting out of my car, I also realized I left a few instruments in my car from the sound meditation I did yesterday at a different studio. My sound bowls I took back into the house, but I have these few. I could actually give you a little bit of a sound bath, or it's not going to be obviously a full sound bath, but a little tiny taste of it, if you'd rather have that for Shavasana. So I wanted to open it up to you guys. Would you prefer one or the other? I know. It's like, so they're all so good.
The wildflower meditation sounds really neat.
Okay. I can say that for gentle, really.
I don't stay
Yeah.
for gentle.
Oh, okay. Bring it back so you can get a taste of it. Yeah, okay. We'll do that. All right, thank you. That helped. Let's start in child's pose. So we're going to start in child's pose on the shins, ankles, and brow. And then you can determine whether or not you want your arms outstretched, your arms wrapped around your body. For instance, if you have the tendency to have poor posture that tends to round behind the heart, I would maybe suggest arms out in front. Now, if you have the arms circled around you, go ahead and let your elbows drip down, let your shoulders melt down over your knees so that you're more rounded in your spine. And then go ahead and start to develop some deep yogic breaths, breathing in and out through the nose. Allowing this pose to drop you in, to be close to gravity. The full moon energy usually wants to take us out of our body, either into abundant thinking or charged emotion. So use your breath to settle down and in. This particular full moon that we just had was a strawberry full moon, and it was in the zodiac sign of Sagittarius. Sagittarius is the sign that's a centaur with a bow. And I want you to think, if you had a bow and you were about to shoot the arrow, think about that arrow representing your destiny. Where would you want it to be focused? Because this particular full moon is wanting to point us that direction. It's asking us to follow our intuition, to follow the purpose that we have discovered, to become independent, fearless, and courageous, to live and to stand in our truth, to be bold, to be proud, and to be expressive of our own unique self. So maybe ponder for a moment if anything has become illuminated for you during this particular phase of the month. Was there anything being highlighted in your sight? Was there anything becoming more illuminated in your life or in front of you as your path unfolds? And then set the intention that we will awaken our awareness to heighten our consciousness so this energy can support us and encourage us to move forward. On your next in-breath, go ahead and lift your head up. Slide your arms out so the elbows are lifted off the mat. Rock up to hands and knees, making sure that your knees are slimmed up and not too wide. And as you exhale, you're going to tip down with your mouth beyond your hands, down towards your chin, hips in the air, and then inhale, slither through to Bhujangasana, let your shoulders roll back and stay on the pubic bone. On the out breath, you're going to curl the toes, inhale, pop up to plank, and exhale to downward facing dog. So this little vinyasa flow is what we're going to do as a little warm up before we do the moons out. So take a deep breath in, pushing the floor away from you with your hand, shining up through your seat. And then as you exhale, descend your knees back to the floor, rock your shoulders past your wrist, dip down like you're going to kiss the ground, and inhale, slither through and up, Bhujangasana, Cobra. And then exhale, curl the toes, inhale, lift the knees, pop up plank. And then exhale, downward facing dog. Holding and breathing. See if you can elongate your limbs and spine a little bit more. On the inhale, exhale, drop knees, chest, chin, Ashtanga Pranayama. Inhale, slither through Bhujangasana, opening the heart and throat. Exhale, curl the toes. Inhale, pop up plank. Exhale, Adho Mukha Svanasana. So we're going to do one more of these. At the present time, just keep the eyes peeled open, looking at that space between the big toes. Inhale, put a little bit more effort into the asana. Exhale, drop to knees, chest, chin, Ashtanga Pranayama. Inhale, slither through to your back bend. Exhale, curl the toes. Inhale, push through your palms, lift the legs, plank. Exhale, tilt back and invert. Head descending between the arms. Smooth yogic breaths here.
And on your next inhale, go ahead and look forward towards your hands. You can walk, float, or lunge the feet forward. And you're just gonna close into self once you arrive. Now, go ahead and rock your hips slightly more forward. And inhale, slide your hands up your shins. Prop yourself up, lengthening out through the spine. And then exhale, drape back down, belly, chest, face. Uttanasana. Affirming. Nothing and no one on this earth can hold me down or back. Inhale, press through the feet, circle the arms to your sides and up overhead. Now we're going to start that moon salutation. The hands are going to link above. Pointer fingers are reaching up towards the sky. Your shoulders actually do lift towards your ears on this pose, and your arms do hug your head here. And I know sometimes we're like, soften the shoulders, and there's some times where we should, but the shoulders should also lift up. And the reason for this is, for women, between the ages of 40 and 60 is a more common occurrence to get a frozen shoulder. So we need to be able to do all the things, right? You know, right? And then go ahead and take a deep breath in. As you exhale, you're going to curve to the right. And you're creating that crescent moon shape. So in the full moon salutation, we do 4 of these crescents to make the fullness of the moon. We're starting with just one side here, 2 sides at the back of the mat, and when we complete it, we'll do the second side here. Inhale, come back up to the top. Exhale, you're going to step to your left, and you're going to create your Kali goddess pose. So you turn now to face the side wall towards Julie. Your feet are turned out, your knees are bent, your thighs are opening up. Now let's notice our hands. Let's bring the fingertips together for a moonbeam hand instead of the sunbeam hand. Take one last deep breath. As you exhale, you're going to tip forward down to your fingertips. With your fingertips, notice if you heightened your sits bones, you actually want to try to keep your torso parallel to the ground. In other words, that means your sits bones are about halfway towards the floor. Now try not to white knuckle the fingertips here. Put your weight in your feet. Your fingertips are just there to help you to balance. But we're going to lift and hover the heels off the mat. Now I used to have to wear high heels a lot in my younger years, so I have onions now. And I can't wear high heels anymore. But isn't it beautiful when you see a woman wearing high heels and how shapely their calves are? And that is basically because of the positioning of the feet. So you're creating that definition and toning in your calves here without the high heel shoes. Let's cross the fingertips over and to face each other. This is called spider pose. Remembering we're all a unique thread in the tapestry of life. And my thighs are quivering, so let's release the hands. Let's turn the heels back behind the toes and fold down to Prasarita Padottanasana. So make sure your toes are now facing that side strip of your mat instead of being turned out like we were in goddess. You're hinging from your hips, and as you pressurize the feet, notice the lift that you get through your knees and that definement that you get in your quads, similar to the definement we were just receiving in the calves. Bring that blood flow and energy down to the face, sensory organs, and pituitary gland. And on your next in-breath, bring your hands up to your hips. Slowly begin to drive the trunk back up. And once you're back up standing, you're going to rotate your right foot towards the front of the room. Expand your arms up shoulder height. Launch out over the right leg and windmill down to triangle pose. When you're in triangle pose, you really want to try to keep that right rib cage aligned over the right thigh. Same with the right shoulder, because sometimes we tend to wrap forward. And when we do that, we're not getting the proper alignment. So I want you to feel the difference here. I'm gonna back you up here. Open right there. Oh, nice. Yes. Okay, there you go. Looks great. Try not to drop your head. It's easy to do here. Take a deep inhale. And as you exhale, stretch the left arm across your left ear. And this is a different kind of side stretch. It's a more linear line versus the curvature we received earlier in the crescent moon. Look down towards your right foot. Put a lunge in the right knee. Bring the hands down to frame the foot and wiggle the left toes back so that back leg's more extended. Power down through your left palm and reach that right arm out and up as you spin towards the windows, catching that sunlight. But the right hand is also receiving the moonbeams from above. Slightly tuck your right hip towards you. Yeah, feel the difference there. Good, one more deep breath in. As you exhale, lower the right hand down, and you're gonna hop the back foot a baby step forward, plant your heel, and slowly float your hands up to rise. All right, we're gonna do this a little differently today. On your inhalation, make sure you have stability in your legs and feet. And then reach the arms up overhead. From here, you're gonna lean out and reach forward, and you're gonna look forward and try not to bend that front knee. So imagine I'm in front of you like I am with my back right now, and I'm like trying to pull you forward. So you're gaining that traction in your back, and the length of your arms will help. Notice you have to depend on the strength of your legs. You have to depend on the strength of the core. And just one more breath. Now casually glance down and slowly hinge forward. Or of course you can prop your hands on your thigh or shin like I showed earlier. You can also utilize blocks if need be. So sometimes I like to keep the spine super extended here. And there's other days where I like to melt down. You're going to get a different effect for each one. You guys have beautiful, beautiful alignment. Because I was about to give the instruction of the pelvis and you don't even need it. All right, so if you got emotionally charged, if you said some things bluntly over the weekend, I want you to affirm, I give myself over into the flow of grace. And if you want to throw someone else in that affirmation, maybe someone you live with was blunt with you, I give them over into the flow of grace. I give them grace. All right, so on your next inhale, pop the head up, lunge that right knee, wiggle the left toes back again. Now, your hands are gonna walk over towards the side strip of the mat as your right foot turns to the corner of your mat and your left foot lays down. You're lunging into that right knee or Skandasana. The location of that right foot is really important to get the proper feel. So if you could turn your foot there, yes. Now that you have turned here, bring your hand more here. So there's space between your waist and your thigh. Feel the difference? Good adjustment, Rihanna. Good, now we're gonna coast over towards the left foot. So once you get there, make sure the left toes are now turning to the corner of the mat. The right foot lays down. And ensure that there's a little separation in space between your waist and that inner thigh that you're lunging into. So your torso is still reaching towards that beautiful Zen light on the shelf. All right, we're gonna make this go a little bit quicker. Inhale, let's cross over to the right. And then exhale, we'll walk it over to the left. And there's other expressions that you can do with your arms and hands. You're welcome to get fancy if you want. All right, once you bring your hands back towards the middle, turn your feet parallel again. Bring your head down for a moment. Once you descend your head down here, again, making sure the front of your thighs are engaged to support the stretch in your hamstrings. And then place your hands back to your waist. Slowly begin to rise up. Once you lift, turn and rotate your left foot 90 degrees. Open out your arms, facing this dark painted wall. Lengthen out over the left leg, windmill down to Trikonasana triangle pose here. Same type of alignment. You want your side body stretching over your left thigh. Left hand can rest anywhere. If you bring it in front of your shin, it's going to require a little bit more action in your feet and core. Good, now sweep that right arm over the ear as though you're trying to reach that back wall. Keep the heart spun open. Stay in command of your breath. And now casually look down towards the left foot. We're going to bring the hands down to frame it. We're going to spin off the back heel, wiggle the right toes back if you need more extension. And then plant your right hand. Inhale, circle that left arm out and up towards the heavens. Again, returning back to the light coming through the windows. Remembering that question, what in particular is being highlighted for you during this time of your life? Good, exhale, lower the left hand down. This is where you're going to hop the back foot slightly forward, toes turned in at an angle, and then depend on your foundation and slowly hover your hands and come up to stand. Take your hands to your hips, square the hips. So you're rolling that right hip towards that back wall. Good, now reach the arms up towards the sky. Palms turn in to face each other. And remember, we're making it a little bit more challenging today by folding halfway or a portion of the way down. Grip those feet without scrunching the toes. Create length in your spine. And the extension of the arms will help. Imagine I'm pulling your arms. Try not to hold the breath. This requires a little strength and stamina. Now, drop your chin and gaze, look down, and slowly bow forward. Determining here, as you tuck that left hip in and slide it towards the front side of the room. Oh my goodness, you guys have great body awareness. I'm really impressed. Drink up the breath. On your next in-breath, slowly start to lift the head up, lunge that knee, wiggle the right toes back, step left foot plank. And this is where we're gonna do regular vinyasa. So shift forward, lower down, chaturanga, unless you need to drop the knees like we did earlier. Inhale, this time slide up to up dog. Exhale, curl toes, roll back down dog, unless you want to pass through plank, building more of that upper body strength. All right, we're gonna do 2 more vinyasas. So from down dog, shift forward, plank, shoulders stacking over wrists. And then continue to shift forward to lower to that low push-up. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog, unless you want to pass through plank first. So you can experiment with what feels good today, depending on your needs. Inhale, roll forward, plank. Good, exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down. Beautiful, hold and breathe. Now, I want you to consider earlier when we had to step the feet forward, if you meditationally walked 1 foot at a time, you can do that again. However, if you took that giant step forward with 1 foot, think about which one that was and step forward with the opposite side now. And if you floated, you can float both feet together. You're going to release into Uttanasana. You're standing forward fold. Making sure all the weight's not landing in the back side of the feet. Inhale, slide up halfway. Exhale, lower back down. Inhale, arms all the way up. This is where we release the hands together to that temple or Jupiter. I've also heard it Kali Mudra. Lots of names. Now, on your in-breath, reach up to the pointer fingers. As you exhale, lean left first. Now opening up that right side panel of the body. Affirming strength and courage fills up my body cells. This particular full moon is the last one before the summer solstice, the longest day of daylight in the year. Feel as though it's giving you an encouraging push. Inhale, gently come back up. Exhale, lean to the right. As you curve over to the right, come back to your breath. See if you can put more air into that left lung, or maybe experience that left lung ballooning on the inhale and contracting, exhausting on the exhale. All right, inhale, bring the arms up, relax your hands down, and step to the left again. Kali got it. So you're facing Rihanna. Arms up, thank you. Hips splayed apart. You didn't even have to wait for instruction. That was awesome. Okay, we're gonna do the 3 lions breath. Now, back when the feminist movement started, I think it started in England before it started in the United States. There was a famous author that came up with that famous quote, "I am woman, hear me roar." And I feel like that came from Kali. It's Kali's energy. So we're gonna do 3 lions breath. Okay, so take a deep breath in through your nose. And as you exhale, expel your tongue. Good, inhale. Beautiful, one more. Good, now tip forward where your elbows take residence on your knees. Okay, so your elbows are here on your knees. And Rihanna, I'm gonna come right here so you don't get totally lost. So you're gonna reach the right arm forward, and then you're gonna sweep it over to the left and over the ear. Yes. And then we're gonna do the same thing again. So we're coming back, elbows to knees. Now we're taking the left arm across, over, up. Good, gently release, elbow to knee, fingertips down, heels turn back, forward fold to invert. So I was teaching a gentle class yesterday. And as a yoga teacher, you can't always instruct all the things all the time. Otherwise, there'd never be any space. And I forgot to mention in gentle about vertigo. If you're going through a spell of vertigo, you really shouldn't lower your head this way. It could disrupt the fluid in the ear. It can make you get dizzy. And I had a woman come straight down to her knees and holding her head. She didn't fall. She brought herself down softly. But just as a reminder, if you're ever going through those spells, you would want to stay level and even, head in line with your heart in this pose, taking blocks under hands or fingertips. So I'm only seeing 2 people like get their head close enough to get to the floor. Only if you know how to do Shasana 2, the headstand. If you want to go up, you can. Otherwise, don't be bothered by it. But know that it's an option. All right, let's all practice that coming up halfway. So walk your fingertips out in front and just lengthen out through the spine, lifting the head up to the neck's in line with the spine and looking slightly forward, not strainfully, but just beyond your hands. This can level out that blood rush to the head, and this would help to prevent the chance for vertigo to hit you. All right, hands to the hips and slowly come up. All right, we're gonna rotate that right foot 90 degrees. If you don't wanna do half moon today, maybe balance isn't great today, you can do triangle again. Otherwise, we're gonna go for that half moon. Yeah, so grab a block if you need it. You're gonna lengthen your arms out just like you would in triangle. You're gonna lengthen out over the right leg just like you would in triangle. Except now we're gonna lunge that right knee, and that right arm that's extended can go onto the block or onto the floor as you fly the left leg up. Remember, the block is ahead of the foot to the outside of the pinky toe. The foot that's floating and hovering is flexed at the ankle, but you're also pushing out to the mount of the big toe. Breathe, breathe, breathe. All right, on the exhale, we're gonna bend the right knee to lower the left foot to the floor. And the hands are gonna be set just a baby step beyond the right foot. And you're on the ball of the back foot. And then you're gonna ground your whole left palm. Good, you're going to rotate your right foot towards the right corner of your mat onto the knife side of the foot, the pinky toe side. And you're gonna carry the right arm up in the air. So this is a different kind of lunge. This is called a soma lunge. And there's different things you can do with the back foot. You can stay on the ball of the back foot, or you can do what Annette did, which is roll to the edge of the foot. I like both. Depends on the day for me. Nice. Now remember, you have to pivot both feet. When you're sweeping that right arm down, come back to the lunge. Awesome. Walk your hands to the inside of the right foot. Skandasana, that side lunge again. Now I'm going to give you an option here. This may be perfect, or follow Rihanna's lead. She's so intuitive today. You can lift your right heel, sit in its direction, and pick up your left toes. It's a whole different beast, right, than side lunge, because now it's like, whoo, inner thigh and hamstrings both. A lot of flexion in the knee and hip on the right side. This is considered a half malasana or half squat. All right, so you can walk it over to Skandasana to the left, or you can follow Rihanna's lead and move towards that half squat. You can do either or. Now, if you're choosing to lift the right foot, let the toes fly up towards the ceiling. So you're on the center of that heel. Good, we're going to come out of that, walking the hands towards the center of the feet. Heel toe the feet in just a baby step or 2 more, so that you can drop the tailbone and bring the hands to the heart to the regular squats. Now, there's a couple different ways to do this. So if you wanted to be more active, you would flex the wrist and bring them down towards the base of the breastbone so the elbows push into your thighs, and then you lift up through the crown of your head. That's going to be more active. And sometimes it's nice to be passive, meaning we're letting go of that work and resting the head in prayer hands. Completely different feel. All right, from here, we're gonna slowly press through the feet and come up and reform Kalega's pose. Take your hands to your hips, turn your feet to be square. Turn your left foot towards the front side of the room. All right, here we go. Remember, you can do triangle pose in its place. Lengthen out over the left leg first, and then lunge into that knee. Hop the hand to the floor or to the block and roll open to the right. Ardha Chandrasana, half moon. Action in that top foot. Breath remaining vibrant. And then let's transition towards that Soma lunge. So bending the left knee, bringing the right foot down, lifting that back heel, hand set just prior of the foot. Solidify your right hand, roll the left foot open. You can even turn down to the edge of the back foot or stay on the ball of the back foot. When I turn to the edge of the back foot, it makes it tougher for the right arm to do the weight bearing. So if you need a little bit of ease with the right arm or shoulder, stay on the ball of the foot instead. Good. Exhale, let's bring that hand down and step into plank. This is where we take the vinyasa. And eventually pass the hips up and back to downward facing dog. We're going to do a couple more of those. Inhale, come forward, plank. Exhale, rock forward, lower down, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhaling, downward facing dog. Yes, and you can pass through plank as well. Let's do one more vinyasa. And I'm going to throw an arm balance in before we end our moving style today. So this is what we call yoga mat mandala, where we're kind of moving all around the mat. So look forward towards your hands, bend your knees, hop the feet just behind at a wider stance than you normally would be. And then you want a little bit more distance, most likely. So send your hands more forward, and then bend the arms, squeeze them down and under. Fly your heels up. We're going towards crow. So the knees build to the upper arms. Tip your weight slightly forward. Look out with your eyes. Point your toes, float the feet. Or just do the arm work and lift your heels. Nice. When you're ready, you can come back down. You can lower the heels to the ground. Fold over to your Uttanasana. Inhale halfway up. Ardha Uttanasana, and then exhale, close back in. All right, we're ending the moon salve. Remember, we did 2 crescents on the back side of the mat, only 1 at the front side. So circle the arms to your sides and overhead. We're gonna balance it all out now, hands linked together. Shoulders come towards the ears, lean to the left. Inhale back up. And then exhale, release. Bring your hands to prayer position at your heart. Close the eyes. Salutations to the sun and to the moon, to the awakening light within us all, and to the dawning of a much higher state of consciousness in all beings. Relax your arms, open your eyes. Okay. There is an apparatus here that makes headstands easier if you don't want the weight on the neck or if you have some cervical issues. It'll totally protect you from that. You don't have to go up into a headstand if that's not in your practice. What you can do instead is a bridge pose so that you're getting the inversion. You can also do a supported waterfall pose, also giving you the benefits of an inversion. If you want to follow me in Shirshasana 1, and you can do it freestyle, I'll teach you the little things through it. You need a wall, go to a wall. Or we could skip it and go into the meditation. Because I'm seeing some, I don't know, some hesitation. We don't have to do headstand today. Meditation sounds. Do you like a bridge pose or supported bridge? Oh, I love that. Like a heel supported headstand with the blocks. I've only done that at the wall, but that is helpful. She's doing Shavasana too, so is Christy. Danielle, I think it's because your elbows are too wide. I think so too. I think if you close them in a little bit more, you'll feel more confident. Oh. Oops. Nice. So just straighten your legs. It was the arm. It wasn't it? Did you pop right up? There's no trouble. Right, I'm gonna step away. I'm gonna angle them forward if you can. Yeah. Oh. All right, after the inversion, holding a few breaths, come on down. And we'll prepare for our guided meditation. And because we're moving into Shavasana, you're welcome to lie down. You're welcome to use any props to make it restorative. And I'll try to speak loud enough since the landscapers are here. So we all know, living in this area of Tennessee, just about any direction we go, at least in this Middle Tennessee area, there's rolling hills. And I grew up in North Carolina, what was called the Plateau, the Piedmont area, which was halfway in the state, similar to Nashville, with the coast on one side and the mountains on the other. So I'm very fond of rolling hills. So when we're dropping into our bodies today, I want you to turn your drishti in and up towards the midpoint of your brow to stimulate the prefrontal lobe, which is involved in our imagination. It's the place where we can create visions. And I want you to envision being outside in the country. And we're going to be taking a trek over 7 rolling hills. At first, check in with your body. Ensure that your body's relaxed. Your facial muscles are soft. And that your gaze is set to the mind's eye. We're going to use colors in this meditation to stimulate our chakras, the wheels of life force energy. I want you to picture yourself now walking towards and over the first hillside. Right at the top of the hill, you get to see beyond. And beyond this is a field of bright red poppies. The rich red is inviting us to a state of security, groundedness, and safety. Take your time walking through this field of poppies, affirming within, I am safe and secure. Let's continue our walk towards and over the second hill. When you reach the top of that hillside, look beyond. Beyond, you're going to find a meadow of orange tiger lilies. These tiger lilies are thick and dense. So weave your way through them, noticing their valiant orange petals. Allow these flowers to feed you with a feeling of connection and acceptance to yourself and others. And affirm, I am balanced and in harmony with myself. And I honor all of my relationships. Now let's travel to the third hill. Once you summit the third hill, look beyond and see that it's leading us to a vast display of buttercups. Vibrant yellow. Saunter your way through the buttercups and let them offer you a feeling of being alive and well, full of vitality. Enjoy the moments here. Affirming. I am a source of power and transformation. Let's leave the buttercups behind. Now trek towards the fourth hill. And just over the fourth hill, we arrive to a lush green pasture that has rows of pink tulips. The pink tulips represent our higher heart. And the green pasture represents compassion. As you stroll through the rows of tulips, let them gift you with unconditional love. Allow these attributes to swell within your heart, affirming, I am loved and compassionate. Let's roll up the fifth hill. The fifth one's gonna offer us the surprise with the hidden oasis, source of clear blue aquamarine water that's so clean and clear you can drink it. Imagine yourself taking a refreshing drink or dip in the water, affirming all the while, I am purifying my mind and body. Crossing over the sixth hill, we discover a vast view of blue morning glories. Stroll through this field of flowers, noticing its very subtle fragrance. You can even picture butterflies, hummingbirds paying a visit. Quietly affirming, I am filled with new insights and innovative ideas. Now it's time to approach the seventh and final rolling hill. Once you cross over that final hill, you see a field with rows and rows of lavender bushes. It looks, seems, and feels celestial, with an abundant amount of fragrance. So fresh, it seems divine. Enjoy the heavenly scent. Affirming I'm filled with greatness and connected to everyone and everything.